Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today, the day of recording, the auction has gone live. The auction is not exactly a new feature anymore. It's like, what, 2.5, maybe 3 years old now at this point. If you're new here, the auction house is a event that comes up every now and then. Wargaming, I guess, just feels like they need to make a lot of money. They'll put a rare or a very desirable ship into the auction and then let the player base bid upon it. Sometimes they are removed ships like the Musashi. That's a pretty frequent item at the auction. And in some cases, it's early access ships like the Schlieffen for her early access event. But either way, the auction has returned to the game. And this go round, it is, well, the small XP that is up for auction, as was announced in the Black Friday dev blog, all those, like a month ago or so. But what wasn't included in that dev blog was, well, what were we going to be bidding in order to get to the small XP? And, well, it's pretty eye-watering and bank account numbing what the small XP is set to go for this go-round. And that is doubloons, fellas. A whole hell of a lot of doubloons. And we're going to be talking about in this video why you really shouldn't be trying to get the small XP this way. So let's just go ahead and get on into it. So the starting bid for the small XP, meaning the minimum amount that is required to potentially get her, is a whopping 35,000 doubloons. Which, if you're wondering, that's 140 US dollars. That is the starting bid. The starting bid. It goes up from there. With the way that the auction works, many a player tends to dump quite a bit of doubloons into this event. So the way it works is that there are only so many small XP that are going to be auctioned off. I believe it's 1,500 is the number this go round. So there are 1,500 small XP out there up for grabs. So that means that 1,500 players will be getting the small XP. What they do is they take the winning 1,500 bids, and whoever in that group of 1,500 players bid the smallest amount that got them into that 1,500 bracket, then they get to set the price for everybody else with their bid. So let's say, just for argument's sake, everyone bids 35,000 doubloons, and then you have 1,500 players that bid like 35,000 plus. The guy that bid 35,001 doubloons, he's the winning bid. Everyone pays 35,001 doubloon for the small XP, and they get their small XP. That's how the auction itself works. Now, the kicker here is that, well, yes, you do only pay the minimum winning bid amount. If you guys don't know, Wargaming doesn't do refunds on doubloons. So if you're one of those players that, thinks, okay, I want to just get the small XP, no question, I'm going to go grab 80,000 doubloons from the premium shop and bid them all into the small XP auction, and then I'm going to try and return them afterwards. Wargaming doesn't do that. So they still get your money from the purchasing of the doubloons, even though you didn't pay, that much doubloons into the small XP. So Wargaming still wins either way. So be aware of that if you do try to partake in the auction, which I really think you shouldn't. So what is it going to go for? Well, last time Musashi was in the auction, which she's a tier 9 ship, she went for, I think, 56,000 doubloons. That's well north of $200 worth of doubloons for a tier 9 premium ship that's, really just a bunch of pixels in real life, right? So that's a lot of money. And Smolensk is a tier 10 ship with quite the fearsome reputation. If you go back on YouTube and watch some older Smolensk videos, the ship was really cracked back in the day. You used to be able to farm ships down from 19 kilometers with a Smolensk speed with utter impunity back in the day. And it was a terrifying and quite frankly annoying as hell ship to go up against those years ago. However, a lot's changed. A whole hell of a lot's changed. First off, you can't get the Smolensk's range out to 19 kilometers anymore, thank God. 16 kilometers is the maximum range now. You have to take the range mod to get it out that far, so you have to sacrifice the reload mod for that. You used to be able to get it out to 16-ish kilometers and still have the faster reload because you used to be able to take AFT and BFT, two old skills that cruisers can't take anymore. They would push out the range of guns below, I think, 190 millimeters, right? Second combination of those skills and either that or the range module, that used to be the way that Smolensk players would oppress everybody else in game. And with the good Soviet ballistics of the shells, the world was your oyster. But again, the commander rework happened. Can't take those skills anymore on cruisers, and now you're limited to a 16 kilometer main battery gun range. Now, don't get me wrong, from within those 16 kilometers, it is very scary to be in the presence of a Smolensk, right? So, yeah, sure, it's still a good cruiser within those ranges. Other things to consider, too, is why you may not even want to pay this much for the ship in the first place. There's a whole hell of a lot more sap in the game nowadays than there was when the Smolensk was first introduced. There's a whole hell of a lot more large caliber sap, with the Colombo and the... God, why do I always forget the name of the ship when I'm talking about it in the video? The Tier 10 Italian battlecruiser. That thing's out there with this 18-inch sap, which will absolutely ruin your day now. A lot more radar at Tier 10, with the the smoke screen being the way you used to be able to, of course, sit there and just farm to your heart's content. A lot more tech lines now have radar out there, and submarines are very much a thing. And guess what the Smolensk does not have? It doesn't have the ASW airstrikes. It has this very weird rocket ASW that shoots the depth charges way the hell off to the either side of the ship. It's quite the widespread, so it's not really that helpful for dealing with submarines. She does have some depth charges that do roll off the back of the ship. Those are a lot more helpful, but you have to go sail over the submarine to do that. And the Smolensk maneuvers like a very wet brick, to say the least, right? Because it's Soviet, and Soviet cruisers have huge turning circle radiuses. And Smolensk, again, like a wet brick. So good luck with that. Now, all of that, of course, is part of a ship being fairly balanced. Which, yeah, the Smolensk is a whole hell of a lot more balanced nowadays than she was when she released. But what I'm saying is, don't be going into this auction thinking you're getting like a 2019 Smolensk. This is the 2024 Smolensk, right? So like, yeah, it's a bit of a terror within 16 kilometers, but it's nowhere near what its reputation would have you believe it is, all right? So there's that aspect of it, right? Do you really want to go paying what's probably going to be north of $200 for a bunch of pixels that instead you could use a fraction of that money to get you some even better pixels? And keep in mind, too, before we get talking about what you could get for the price of the Smolensk B, this is not a premium ship, guys. This is a special ship. There is a difference. Special ships are usually Tier 10 ships that aren't tech line ships. They're ships that you get from the armory, from either for coal, steel, research bureau points, whatever. They do not have a premium economy baked in with them. They get the standard Tier 10 bonus package, and that's it. They don't get that nice reduction in post-battle service costs. So, while, yeah, they do earn a bit better, than your standard Tier 10 tech line ships, of course, they're not a premium ship. And, like, yeah, you can move commanders on and off of them like you can premium ships, but they don't earn anywhere near what premium ships do earn. Like, if you do the exact same type of damage in a premium ship as you do a special ship, the premium ship is going to net you more credits one way or another, right? So you're paying what's probably going to be well north of $200 for a ship that's not a premium ship, isn't exactly, the crazy ship it used to be back in the day, but why would you still want to get it? I get it. It's a Smolensk, right? But, like, there's better alternatives out there. There's better alternatives out there right now, even in remove ships. You can buy right now in the Black Friday event for the total of $64 a lovely little ship called the Alaska B. The Alaska is a Tier 9 premium ship. Full-on premium ship too, by the way, fellas. And the Alaska B has been treated much better over time than the Smolensk B has been treated. Like, yeah, the Alaska B's gone through her fair, share of changes and such, thanks to, again, various commander reworks and such. but she's aged a whole hell of a lot better than the small lens cast. The big thing that affected the Alaska Bee was the change of the fire prevention skill being able to be taken by cruisers. They can't take it anymore, so the Alaska Bee has to sit there and burn for the full fire burn time now, rather than getting that nice quick cruiser burn time on her, thanks to, again, the commander skill not being available for cruisers anymore. So that's the big thing that's has damaged the Alaska's reputation, or I should say damaged the Alaska's performance. Other than that, the Alaska is still a very strong tier 9 cruiser. And again, it is a premium ship, so it will earn you a ton of credits. She has excellent AP, she has excellent HE. Basically, if you can't citadel it to death, you can surely burn it to death with the Alaska. So that's the ship I would strongly recommend you guys pick up if you're in the mood for a removed high-tier cruiser. And not to mention, there's a gajillion American premium ships that you can use the Alaska Bee as a trainer for. And again, it costs a whopping $65 right now in the Armory in the Black Friday event. So for quite literally probably what a fourth of what the small lens Bee is probably going to go for, you can get what is, in my opinion, the better deal right now. Now, if the small lens Bee does somehow only go for like 35,000 and change doubloons, which I highly doubt it will, I'm thinking, north of 50,000 doubloons. Again, the Musashi, which, the Musashi's the Musashi. It's got a lot of, name recognition because it's the Musashi. It's a real still historical ship. It went for 54,000 doubloons last time, but it's a tier 9, right? I think the small lens is probably going to go for more than that. The small lens Bee, back when she was first put in auction, she was for coal. Back the first time that they auctioned her off, she went for 645,000 coal. That is triple the price of your usual tier 10 coal ship. So that should give you a pretty good idea of how in demand this ship is. So, yeah. At the end of the day, it is your money. You spend your money however you want to spend your money. But if you are, going into this thinking, hey, I'm going to get this ship, it's got this fearsome reputation behind it, it's an excellent farmer, it's going to be printing me credits. Yeah, again, it's a good damage dealer from within 16 kilometers. It's a really good light cruiser, don't get me wrong. It is a really good light cruiser, but it's not the ship it once was. And again, I think you'd be better off getting the Alaska for what's probably going to be a fourth of the price in the Armory. But that is my 2 cents. That is my advice to you guys. You guys are adults. You guys do what you want to do. But that is my humble opinion on the matter. So let me know in the comments down below. Are you planning on throwing some money at the small lens Bee in auction, or are you going to sit it out? And what are you planning on picking up from the Black Friday event either way? So let me know all that jazz in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.